got your hardware right here. It's Filmshake, the 90s movies podcast. I'm Jordan.
And this is Nick.
And this is episode 101. Nick, why'd you give me such a dirty thing to say there?
Hey now, I will say, while you did come up with that, I think you've just been following my lead because I had a backup line in case you did not have something to say.
Oh.
And it was essentially exactly what you said.
The same thing.
It was, hey baby, I got your hardware right here.
Is that what you had?
Yeah, that's
it. Written down. That's nice. Obviously we do this podcast together for a reason. But yes, this year we're talking all 1990 movies. If you're just tuning in, this episode we will focus on our main pick, Hardware, the 1990s sci-fi dystopia horror flick. But first, our punishment movie, which did I lose trivia last time? Did I always lose. I'm pretty sure I lost.
I'm sure you did.
Yeah, I actually wrote questions last time, but I don't think that helped at all. But yeah, I punished myself and maybe you, if you watch this, with the 1990 movie Robot Jox.
It's a new age of combat.
Human beings, genetically engineered to be the best fighters in history.
Two champions.
It isn't over until someone wins.
At war with each other.
Kill it! I have already killed you.
Two invincible men.
Let's finish it, Alexander, here now.
The ultimate killing machines.
I'm gonna get in this thing, and I'm gonna kick your...
Robot Jox.
And it seemed like much to your chagrin that I'd picked just two obscure, like, nothing movies that nobody's interested in.
That's hilarious, right? Because Jordan is like, I'm picking movies, and I'm thinking like, oh, well, people can watch this. It's on this streaming service. And Jordan is like, do you know how expensive the VHS is for this? Then Jordan's like, time for me to make my picks. Here's my pick, Hardware. It's not streaming anywhere. Good luck finding it.
Right. You got to buy the VHS copy. No, I mean, you're like, I've got to figure out what's streaming. I'm like, what do I have on VHS already so I don't have to spend any more money on VHS?
And you had both these movies. Robot Jox is streaming on Tubi. So if you're listening and you're like, I haven't heard of these movies, but you know what? Maybe I'll watch them. Robot Jox is on Tubi. The other movie, Hardware, you're shit out of luck. I'm sorry.
I don't know. Maybe Hardware's on YouTube or something. Or
maybe someone's got it on Internet Archives. Yeah. I didn't see it on YouTube. I watched it through our mutual friend, who he provided a copy because he had it.
Yeah. But no, I mean, I feel like this director and this movie is notable in like horror circles and like, I don't know, just like B-movie cult stuff, you know, like I feel like people know this movie at least, or like at least a certain crowd know this movie, but I was always kind of curious to watch it and finally did for this. So I'm excited. I'm excited to talk about it, even if nobody else is.
I watched Robot Jox too. I watched it. I said, you know what? Why not? It's spelled Jox. They went through the effort of spelling Jox that way. I'll go through the effort of giving this movie like 90 minutes of my time. And I did.
You're like, if you're going to spell Jox that way, I'll give you my time.
Right. And it was only 85 minutes long. So I got to spend the other 5 minutes however I pleased.
All right. Well, I was curious, like, if you could describe the vibe, or perhaps maybe vibe's not the right word. If you could describe the production value of Robot Jox, how would you describe this movie?
It's like a Power Rangers episode.
Yes, that's exactly what I thought.
Okay,
Power Rangers,
but like a big budget Power Rangers episode. Yeah.
It's like not as bad. You don't have like just people in cardboard suits like you do in Power Rangers sometimes, but it definitely has that vibe, like a Power Rangers vibe for sure.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Lots of spandex.
Lots of spandex, and a PG movie made for children, but you've got a headshot which results in a blood splatter all over the wall. You've got female nudity. I mean, it's 1990. It's not the 80s anymore, but this is a PG film.
Well, I was thinking Power Rangers for sure, but then when you see the robots, you have like some pretty quirky stop motion type stuff going on. It reminded me of like Ray Harryhausen and like Jason and the Argonauts, like the skeletons and everything. Like the way the robots move, especially the bad guys robot, it's kind of like spider-ish, and it's like stop motion crawling through the fake desert with the obvious like backdrop behind them. And yeah, the other robot too. And then you also have like with that some moments of just like really bad early 90s CG that's just like, please, like you should have just stuck to the stop motion to fire your missile or whatever, you know.
I didn't
when
even
they go
notice
out
the
in
CG.
space.
There was CG.
It was
in this
when they
movie?
went in space. They went in space, and then like when he fired a missile or like a rocket at the other robot, it turned to CG for a moment, like mixed with the actual like stop motion and like green screen stuff, and it was just like a weird combination of all these things.
Oh, gotcha. I just thought it was bad hand animation, but it was CG.
Oh, maybe that was it too. I don't know.
Because it's only 1990, you know?
Yeah.
And this isn't Total Recall, but I don't know. Maybe you're right. Now I need to know. We need to... If anyone knows the makers of Robot Jox, get them in touch with us. We don't want to do a full interview. We just want the answer to this one question.
Well, it was executive produced by Charles Band, who I know had like a hand in a lot of these B movies, like Full Moon movies from the 90s.
Which there's a full moon in the movie, thanks to the female star of the film. So that fits.
Full Moon. There you go. That fits. And then like they planned a sequel for this, but then there was like another movie called Crash and Burn that I guess is like within the same universe. I don't know. Anthony was trying to explain it to me, and I'm like, okay, I know they say crash and burn a lot. Like the jocks, the robot jockeys are like thumbs up, fists together, fist bump, crash and burn. Then I guess we should explain the premise of this movie too, is basically like the world is in complete nuclear holocaust, and you have to wear masks to go outside, and the wars have ravaged the land. So now instead of wars, we're just going to send out like dudes and robots to fight each other to settle land disputes. So like we open up this movie and they're fighting for the land of Alaska, which is, you know, they list all like the natural resources that it's rich in. And, you know, whoever wins this robot fight, that country gets that land. Does that about sum it up?
That about sums it up. And the movie, really, the robot fights are just the framework for the movie, in that we open with a robot fight and we end with a robot fight. There are no other robot fights in between.
Well, there's that one fight where like he crushes like all the bleacher bums, the people, the bystanders or whatever.
I would call that the opening fight. I don't know.
Okay. I guess that would be opening fight. I was setting up a projector while I was watching this movie.
Yeah, and that noise, I was like, what is that noise? That sounds familiar. It's because it's one of the songs on The Fragile by 9 Inch Nails, where there's like a weird applause, like screaming noise. It's from that. Maybe it's Becoming on The Fragile that uses the sample of the people being crushed. It just immediately sounded familiar.
I did see that trivia bit. I was like, that's weird. Trent Reznor just watched this movie and was like, I'm gonna grab that soundbite. That is weird. That is really strange to think like, it's just weird to think like other humans watch this.
Trent Reznor watched this movie multiple times, probably.
Right, enough to sample that spot.
Probably when he was really high, back when he did a lot of drugs.
I mean, it's bad, but it is entertainingly bad. It's so cheesy. It feels very much like a product of the 80s, just a holdover from there. And like the latex, or not the latex, the spandex suits, the cheesy robots, like all like the human interactions between the robot jocks. And then they have like these test tube babies who they're like breeding to become the super robot jocks. Everything is just really dramatic. Like it's just like a soap opera behind the scenes of these giant robot fights, and it's just so ridiculous and over the top. It's not good, but it is quite entertaining.
It is entertaining. It's weird too because the director of this is Stuart Gordon, and I have only seen a single other film that he's directed. That is Reanimator, which is a very gory horror film, cult classic. I enjoy it quite a bit. Classic. Not like this movie at all.
No. It's just so, like, you've got the villains here, you know, obviously a Cold War product of the Cold War, where you've got the Russian. Is it the Russians? I'm assuming it's the Russians.
I think the guy's name was like Vladimir. He definitely had a Russian accent.
Alexander. Yeah,
that's right, Alexander. I'm sorry, I said Vladimir because I'm thinking Vladimir Guerrero Jr. because I've been watching the World Series. It's the bottom of the ninth in Game 5 right now, so I have that name on the brain. Yeah, Alexander.
You have that open, like, as we're podcasting? You're like, I gotta check the
bottom of the bottom of the ninth, Jordan. I just might have that open somewhere.
Okay, all right. But his name is Alexander, and I'm pretty sure it's an American actor. I didn't look it up.
It sounds like it is.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure it's got to be an American actor just putting on, like, the most heinous Russian accent.
He has that
the
Command
most,
and Conquer accent where he's like, affirmative.
Right. I will crush you like bug. And just laughing, like, the maniacal laugh, like, over and over again. Like, you cannot defeat me.
Which makes
so bad.
The ending of the movie with him even more amazing, not to skip over everything else that happens.
I think we should just skip to the amazing ending. Well, other than, like, what? There's, like, a somewhat romance between the main dude whose name is Achilles, and there's this test tube girl that he finds attractive, and she's the best, and she gets picked to be the robot jock because, like, he's done with his 10 fights. I don't know, there is, like, a surprising amount of world building where they're like, you know, you, as a robot jock, you have 10 compulsory fights, and then you're done. And he's like, I'm on my 10th fight, and then it was a draw. So then he's like, all right, I'm out. I don't want to fight anymore. And everybody calls him a coward. He's like, I don't give a shit. And then the test tube girl's like, I'm the best. I'll be the next robot jock. And he's like, oh no, not her. I guess I like her and I don't want her to die, so I'll come back and fight the Russian dude.
I like how you described all of that. And this was written very meticulously by a Hugo and Nebula award-winning science fiction author, Joe Haldeman, who famously complained that he wanted this to be basically a hard science film. And Stuart Gordon was not having it. He was like, this is for little kids. Come on. What are you doing?
Yeah, like I like all the back and forth I read between them where Stuart Gordon is just like, no, it's got to be filled with like cliches and stereotypes. Like, what are you doing? This is for kids. This has got to be dumb and fun.
Right.
Which, you know, I guess he got his way in the end because it is definitely dumb.
It is dumb and it's fairly fun. And
yeah,
the female lead, Anne-Marie Johnson, that does sound like the name of a Power Ranger. So
yeah.
I actually really like the lead in this. Gary Graham as Achilles. He had this weird Peter Weller energy.
Yeah, I can see that.
I don't know. I really dug.
No, I like, I liked his character. Like, you could definitely follow him and like root for him. And like, yeah, he just had like a kind of cool, chill out vibe about him. Like, he's trying to be tough, but he's also like sensitive and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, and he's got like this Texas accent type thing going. And he's got like this mentor that was the best before
Speaking
him.
of Texas accents,
Tex Conway.
Mentor, Tex Conway.
Played by Michael Aldridge.
He's like this fat, big old Texan dude in the spandex, but he's got like a cowboy hat on too. And he's just talking like this. He's like, come on now. I'm from Texas. We need to send in our American in there and beat them Ruskies. I'm just like, the fuck? But then he ends up being a spy and he like shoots the Japanese scientist who's like in charge of the secret weapons. But Tex Conway's the spy. And then he jumps off the building. He's like, see you later. You can't catch me, Geronimo. And then he splats on the ground and he's dead.
Right. I love the cliche name of the doctor too. The Asian doctor scientist
Matsumoto.
Guy. It's Doc. Doc Matsumoto.
Doc Matsumoto.
Yeah, that twist, I didn't see that coming. That was well executed. I was like, whoa, Texas bad?
Tex Conway is bad. Oh no. I mean, everybody in the film was surprised too. They were like, what? Not our beloved Tex Conway. And he's like, that's right. I did kill him. And they're like watching the videotape.
Because Doc filmed it.
The Doc filmed it like secretly while Tex was shooting him. And they're like, oh no, you killed him? And he's like, yeah, I did. Watch. I like how he's like, he wants them to watch. And like, he's proud of it. And then he jumps off the building.
Just jumps right off. Clean
Just
off.
right down the hangar. Splats down there.
Yeah.
That's insane. But no, we got to talk about the ending too. So we got this over the top, ridiculous Russian guy who just wants to kill everybody. He wants to fight. He's just, all about the glory and all about the pain. And at the end, where they have like this big robot battle, they go into space for some reason.
They were trying to be like Superman 4, I think. They're like, Superman 4 got critically panned and was the worst one up to this point. Let's do that.
Well, it's like, what is the strategy of Achilles where he's like, all right, so the girl knocks him out and like sabotages his room where he can't get out of his like space room or his future room with all the sliding doors and stuff. She sabotages him. She goes and impersonates him, puts on the suit. She's going to fight the guy now. Like all the US based like scientists and leaders are like, no, you can't do that. We got to get Achilles in there. And she's like, the hell if I won't. And then she busts out of the hangar, screws up everything. And then the Russian guy just puts the beat down on her and like, she's out in like 2 seconds. Like she can't handle Mr. Alexander. But then like somehow this amazes me is like Achilles somehow gets out of his room, gets to the base, drives his car like out on the field, gets into the robot, pulls her out, then like somehow gets the robot back like upright, which I don't understand the hard science behind that. Gets the robot upright, then flies out into space. The other robot like follows him, shoots a missile at his foot. They crash land. He gets out of his robot, runs to like the broken arm of the bad guy's robot, and then like hot wires the arm to shoot the fist at the bad guy's robot, and then defeats him and blows up his robot.
Yeah, all that happens.
That did happen, right? I didn't hallucinate that.
The thing
right?
is, the fist move, we see the fist move get used twice. They both get fisted, right? Where he gets fisted and falls down and crushes everybody, but he doesn't explode. For some reason, when he fists the Russian guy explodes. Why does the Russian guy explode when he gets fisted?
Well, that's because he fires the fist at him, so it's got like he propels it somehow.
Yeah, but the Russian guy fired the fist at him earlier because that was a whole plot point where they were like, that was a long distance weapon and those are illegal now because they have all these rules for fighting.
Yeah.
Remember?
I like how, the Russian guy fires like a missile at him and it only like blows up his foot, but he fires like a fist from like 10 feet away and it blows him up.
Just totally destroys him. It's a pretty gnarly explosion. Yeah, I like how they have all the rules for fighting. Like, you can use missiles at a distance, but once you get close, then no more missiles.
No more missiles.
To be close range.
So Achilles, like, screwed up there, too. He used a fist missile.
No, he did not. They already established that the fist was technically a part of the body and not a projectile, so it was okay.
I like how we're splitting hairs over these like robot rules.
Hey, Robot Jox is meant to be taken seriously according to the writers. So
according to the writer, not the director. Well, I like how the robot, like he clearly fires the fist and blows up the robot. He couldn't have gotten that far away from this giant explosion. But then they cut to him like as if he's just like onlooker from like 100 yards back, and he's like, "Yeah, I did that. I blew up that robot." But then Russian guy's still not out. He comes out of the explosion with like a pipe sword, and they start fighting with pipes and like trying to kill each other. And I love how Achilles is just like, "Stop it. We can live. We can live, damn it." And he throws away his pipe, and then Russian dude's like, "Huh? Oh, I guess you're right."
We can live.
We can live. And then they fist bump, crash and burn. The end.
And then the credits roll.
Amazing movie.
Yeah, that was a pretty good ending. I'll
Yeah.
give it a whole 5 out of 10, Jordan.
5 out of 10. Yeah, I'm 2.5 out of 5. I'm right there with you.
All right, man. We can fist each other now.
What? Fist bump. Fist bump, sir. You left out a key
No,
word.
like from our robots, we can fire the fists from the robots, and the fists can hit each other and explode. And we can go, yeah.
We were already dirty in our opening. We gotta keep it there, sir. There will be no fisting of each other.
Oh, well, there's no fisting of any kind in our main film. Which is shocking given the title of 1990's Hardware.
We're in a time of throwaway technology.
I'll give you 30, 40, 50. And they can see it my way.
Only some of the stuff that gets thrown away isn't dead.
Mo?
Merry Christmas, baby. I got something else you like.
What is it?
It's asleep.
Fairwell Electronics presents its new model, the Mark 13. The Mark 13 is self-repairing, capable of recharging its storage batteries from just about any power grid, including the sun.
And when it wakes up, it'll become something entirely new.
I gotta see. It's important. Meet me in 1 hour.
A creature that combines the technology of a computer, the deceit of a human, and the killer instinct of a machine.
James, listen to me. This is serious.
Jill is in trouble. I didn't see anybody.
Get ready for an encounter with some seriously heavy metal. Get ready for Hardware.
There's no fisting, but there is quite a bit of sexual harassment for sure.
And sex.
And sex, yes. Everything but fisting.
I'm pretty sure that fisting is described, though. That neighbor was a pervert, Jordan.
Oh man, that neighbor was the worst. The fucking worst. I'm like, okay, I know we want this guy to be killed by this killer robot, but do we have to go so disgusting with this dude? Like close-ups on his... All right, we'll get there. But I like how I stopped at close-ups on his, but we don't know what the close-ups were on. Not his fist. That's been well established. Well, how would you describe the setting, the plot, the overall synopsis of this movie?
Well, the Blue Jays have defeated the Dodgers 6-1 in Game 5, so they now have now have a 3-2 game lead. Magic Johnson said before this game, it's important that one of the teams wins this game because whoever wins will have an advantage. He is really good at math, Magic Johnson. That was an impressive statement. This movie, it's a combination of certain things. It's definitely similar to Terminator, in that you've got a malicious robot here who is meant for warfare, who is attacking, well, it turns out to be a female character at the end because of something that I didn't expect to happen that we'll get to. But it starts off with some pretty spectacular footage of the desert. My first thought watching this was, is Jordan making me watch another Circuitry Man? Because Circuitry Man sucked. And on the surface, it would seem that Circuitry Man, which is a punishment film from early this year, would have a lot in common with Hardware. But I'll tell you what, from the first shots of this film, which was directed by Richard Stanley, who has a pretty good reputation as a director, and especially as a visual director, I thought, okay, this is a real movie. These shots are really good. These are very impressive shots of these actors out in this desert wasteland, digging around looking for things. This looks really good. And lo and behold, this nomadic scavenger who is played by Jordan. I have some history with this band. It's played by Carl McCoy, who is the frontman for the band Fields of the Nephilim. Have you ever heard of this band?
I've heard the name, but I've never heard their music.
There's a spin-off band of this band called the Eden House. And I listened to their music one time, and then bad stuff happened to me. And I thought, like, man, I think that music was cursed. I better not listen to it again. Oh, no. But then, like, I got one of the songs stuck in my head later. And I was like, I was probably being superstitious. And I listened to him again, and more bad stuff happened to me, Jordan. No. And then finally I gave him a third chance. And the third chance was the day before I get my knee up back in early 2020. And then I thought, no, forget this. No more Eden House. I don't care how much I like your music. It's obviously,
it's obviously cursed.
It's obviously cursed. And it's all thanks to this guy, Carl McCoy, who plays the scavenger here. I believe he knew the director of the film because Stanley had directed some Fields of the Nephilim videos. So he is this striking figure through the desert with these striking, terrifying eyes. This guy has such
he's
scary
pretty
eyes.
Creepy guy, yeah.
Yeah. And he finds the remains of this war robot. Also shades of Short Circuit here.
Yeah. But like a deadly Short Circuit.
Yeah, if it was rated X at first, then they had to edit the violence down a little bit to get R.
Yeah, because that's what happened here. But no, I dig the visuals. I dig like the whole junkyard aesthetic of this movie, the desert sci-fi vibe. It's got some of that Star Wars, like Tatooine, like that kind of rusted out future kind of stuff that I dig. I know you'd like that too. So did that feel nice for you?
Oh yeah, I liked all of that stuff. Now, I will say, don't get attached to it, because you're only out there for about the first 10 minutes of the movie, and then like the very, very, very last seconds of the movie. Other than that, you're mostly in this apartment in this kind of industrial city hellscape.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed all these parts of the movie. It sets the atmosphere. It lets you know that even though this movie maybe has a small budget, they're going to make the most of it. All this stuff looks great. And then we're introduced to our main characters. You've got Moses Hard Mo Baxter, played by Dylan McDermott, not Dermot Mulroney, Jordan. It's Dylan McDermott.
I always get those two confused. I saw the name and I was expecting Mulroney, but then I saw his face. I'm like, wait, that's not the guy I thought it was going to be.
You were deceived.
I was, by the trickery of their names being similar.
That's right. And McDermott's pretty good here. This is the perfect kind of role for him, where he's kind of got like the swagger that he can't quite back up. And he's pretty cool, but he's not quite as cool as he wants to be.
Yeah.
It's a good character. I enjoyed him in this. And his best friend, his buddy, is Shades, who's played by John Lynch, who's this guy that just wears shades all the time.
See, I was waiting for some reveal of like, why is he called Shades? Is he a robot, or does he have like fucked up eyes from the nuclear holocaust? And I'm also remembering, Nick, did you know I was once nicknamed Shades?
Actually, I didn't know that. When was this your nickname?
This was like middle school summer camp. I don't know why. I guess I wore some sunglasses to summer camp one time, and they were just like, hey, Shades. And then that was my name for the summer.
No, that's gnarly, though. Yeah, I wasn't at that summer camp with you, so I never got to hear that. Yeah. But I like that you had this one summer where you were Shades.
That's right. Just that one summer.
Pretty cool.
Maybe they were Hardware fans.
I doubt it. I don't think very many people have seen this film. But you know what?
Probably not.
I'll spoil my opinion a little bit. I think people should watch this movie. If you're a fan of any of that 80s or early 90s sci-fi kind of cyberpunk, or just like what's the other one? Yeah, not just the aesthetic of cyberpunk. There's another one there. There's a little bit of steampunk here, only a little bit.
Yeah.
It's definitely got a certain visual tone and aura about it that you're only going to get at the turn of the decade between the 80s and the 90s.
Yeah. No, I really appreciated that. I dug all that. And especially like watching it on VHS on a CRT. And then you're seeing like these old fuzzed out CRT screens and like the cyberpunk stuff and the junkyard vibe. all that, like, I don't know, just it worked. And you've got kind of like this orange tint to everything too. I don't know, it felt really nice and warm to watch it that way.
Right, and you've got Iggy Pop, like, just kind of...
Angry Bob.
Yeah, as a DJ, kind of angrily narrating what's going on in the world, which there's some really prescient stuff here. The world that this is set in is another post-apocalyptic type world where it feels like the government's basically just trying to get rid of people. Like, they're telling people, like, don't breed. Like, whatever you do, do not have unprotected sex and have a baby with someone.
Well, there's also, like, I guess good reason behind that, because the radiation levels are so high everywhere, and, like, everyone's just having mutant babies and shit. So they're just like, you know what? We don't need any more mutant babies. So just stop having sex.
Yeah, but why is everything irradiated, Jordan?
War, I'm guessing?
Yeah, because of the government's warlike nature. And then we see them, finally, they're like, you know what? Y'all won't stop having sex and having babies. So, you know what? We're just going to invent a robot to murder all of you. And you're going to be happy about it. And we're going to market this thing like it's the greatest thing since sliced bread. The Mark 13, which is the robot in this movie. And that's kind of the sly commentary here is... basically, the government just wants to kill its people.
Yeah.
It's a culture of death, which is something that if you get me late at night, you'll get me going on and on about the culture of death. And I won't get into that here, but I dug that here. There's some very interesting commentary below the surface that I appreciated. There's some depth to this film, even though you have minimal locations and not a big budget. There's more here than, it's not just like, 2 stop-motion robots fighting in a shower scene, you know?
Right. Yeah. There's a little bit more going on for sure.
Yeah.
I did want to comment on Iggy Pop because I was really excited to see him listed here as Angry Bob. And so I was hoping that we would get like Iggy Pop in the flesh. But, you know, if we don't get that, then at least his voice, you know, coming over the radio was fun. It did remind me, so... I have to, you know, call back to one of my favorite directors, Jim Jarmusch, big fan. And Iggy Pop has been in at least one thing that he's done, Coffee and Cigarettes. And so Tom Waits is another musician that's often featured in Jarmusch films. So we kind of have some crossover here with Stanley. You know, he used, it seems like quite a few musicians for actors in this film. So it's kind of akin to Jarmusch in that way. And so you do have Tom Waits as like a radio host in, I think, multiple, at least one Jarmusch film as well. So that was kind of like a fun connection in my brain to see like Iggy Pop as a radio host, Tom Waits as a radio host, and then them are both in a scene in Coffee and Cigarettes together. So that was kind of a cool little tangent I had to go on.
Yeah, you definitely get Stanley's hand being in kind of the metal and punk and just kind of not counterculture music, but the kind of more fringe music of the time. You definitely get that in some of the actors that are in this film. The tangent I wanted to go on earlier, Jordan, was I was making fun of Superman 4, but you know what? I would watch that 10 times before I would watch the most recent Superman movie again, James Gunn's Superman. I would watch Superman 4 10 times before I watched that again. I hated it. It sucked. It was garbage. But Superman 4, stupid, dumb, but Christopher Reeve is in it. I'll watch it a dozen times before I watch the 2025 one again. That's all.
That's all.
Hardware.
That's all we need. Hardware. Well, yeah, like you said, we are limited to this apartment scenario. So basically, we have Mo, like you said. He's kind of this, drifter, scavenger. He collects this junk for his girlfriend, who's like this artist, this sculpture, and brings back these robot pieces that he's gotten off the Nomad. Brings it back to her apartment. She's obviously like super paranoid and protective. She's in this apartment that's all locked up really well. She's got this whole security system in place, talking through camera systems, and like whoever's like at the door, she has to like punch a code to let him in. And then, finally lets him and Shades in. And obviously Mo is kind of on the outs with her. He's been gone for a long time, but he's brought this robot back to give to her as a gift.
Yes. And Stacey Travis, Texas actress, her accent shines through a few times in this. I think she's a ton of fun. I loved her look in this. She's pretty good looking.
She does a good job.
She does a great job here. There was a connection that I found really interesting, Jordan. So, you know who was one of the executive producers of this film?
Yes, the Weinsteins.
It's Harvey Weinstein. According to Richard Stanley, I think it was Stanley that said this. It was someone associated with the film.
I think it was Stanley.
He said that Weinstein blackballed Stacey Travis's career because she resisted his sexual advances, which is things that we've heard allegedly happen to lots of other people, allegedly. And that it allegedly happened to her. Well, Jordan, you know what's really interesting? You know what the gross pervert neighbor who spies on her and does all the nasty stuff and is so fat and gross and disgusting? You know what his name is? It's Weinberg.
Oh, in the movie, his name is Weinberg?
Yeah.
Yeah, what is that his first name or last name?
That's his last name.
That is interesting. Man. And then, it'd be amiss if we didn't say Stanley himself had some controversy later on with sexual harassment or domestic abuse allegations against him. So, yeah, all that wrapped up into like having this really gross, like sexually harassing character in this movie just kind of does put like an ick on it, but whatever the backstory, whatever the creators of this, like the film itself, it does do an effective job of creating that gross, disgusting character that makes you just like hate this guy and want him to die.
There's this really hot sex scene in this movie between McDermott and Stacey Travis. Like this music gears up in the soundtrack. It's like really cool, like weird music that amps up, and then they have this really hot, loud sex scene. It's very sexy. And then you go straight from that to the disgusting Weinberg neighbor spying with a telescope on them, playing with himself while he's talking dirty to himself to the Stacey Travis's character. It's disgusting. And you get a close up of like a cold sore on his lip while he's doing this. It's so gross. It's one of the weirdest transitions from a legitimately sexy scene to something disgusting. Like a lot of times directors will conflate sex and violence in a movie, and I don't really love that. That's not my jam. But here it's like sex and revulsion. It's the weirdest thing. Do you think
that was like intentional on the filmmaker's part too, where he's like, oh, I'm going to play with the audience here and like turn them on and then like cut to this and just do a full 180?
It almost feels like more prescient commentary on current times that somehow he saw into the future of.
Maybe so. Maybe so.
That's what it felt like to me.
I could definitely see it just as like an editing choice though, of like, oh, this will really fuck with people,
Yeah, maybe so. It's like, if you look at statistics, like people aren't really like the young folks compared to previous generations and like around the world, like they're just not having sex anymore. They're mostly just watching people have sex. The world is cucking itself. And that's what this guy is doing. So I don't know. It's supposed to be the future, right?
Yeah, he's like an internet troll, basically.
Yeah.
Right? He's just like, the embodiment of that whole vibe, like incel vibe.
Yeah, but I don't even like the incel term. Like that's kind of like I don't know. That's kind of like offensive. I feel like the culture is
they've adopted it. That culture has adopted it itself.
How do you know? Are you in the incel culture?
I don't know. No.
Are you one of them? Can you speak for them?
All right. Side quest aside, this guy sucks. But like, I was not expecting him to then go to the apartment after Mo leaves. He gets a call. He's gonna go see the weird little person junkyard guy that sells him I guess that he buys the junk or he sells the junk to.
Yeah, he sold all of the robot except the head to this guy Alvy that he had bought. Gotcha. He only kept the head. Yeah, he gets a call from him like, hey, come check this out. I can't talk over the phone, but he's found out about like the military aspect of the robot.
Meanwhile, the gross guy goes over to the house and he's just like perving on the girl, and the robot is like come to life. I guess we shouldn't skip over that. I'm just focused on this pervy guy. But yeah, it is a pretty cool scene of like the head reanimating. So you got some Stuart Gordon connection there, right?
True.
You got the head and the wires like stop motion kind of wiggling around and like parts coming together and just this thing like building itself back up, and it looks really gnarly and kind of hard to see. Everything's dark, or at least on the VHS is just like, I don't quite know what the shape of this thing is, but it's got a head and like a saw, and like at one point it has like a little drill penis looking thing.
Oh, dude, we forgot to talk about the saw penis from Robot Jox.
Oh, we did. Total connection between these movies too. There's like a saw and a drill penis for both the robots.
Speaking of sex and violence,
there you go. Yeah, the bad guy Alexander, the Russian robot, to defeat Achilles at the end, he pulls out a giant chainsaw like from the NAD region and cuts the good guy robot in half. But yeah. And here I was watching Hardware with my girlfriend, Michelle, and she was like, do you think this robot pulled out the drill penis for the guy too? Or just this, or is it just going after this girl? But I'm pretty sure the perv guy gets drilled with the robot penis as well.
He really gets it worse than anybody.
Oh yeah, as he should.
It's really bizarre when he comes over too, because he's such a malicious seeming figure, but when he comes over, he's like,
he's pitiable, maybe?
Yeah, he walks over and he's like, we all walk the wibbly wobbly walk. He's singing like these weird child songs and like just goofing around her apartment.
Oh, we all walk the wibbly wobbly walk, and we all talk the wibbly wobbly talk. Oh, we all wear wibbly wobbly ties, and we look at all the pretty girls with wibbly wobbly eyes. I made that up.
And I don't mean to say he's harmless, but it feels like he's not actually ever going to act on his impulses, and if he did, she would beat the hell out of him, and he would just whimper in the corner while she did. Like, he's a lot less threatening in person than he is when he's perving out in his apartment.
Yeah, I don't know. I was still just, like, waiting for him to do something shitty and gross, you know? Oh, well, he does lick her. He fucking licks her on the face. He gets, like, real close to her. They're talking, then he licks her on the face. Like, that was fucked up. I was just like, oh, what is this with this dude and this tongue? Like, I don't want to see any more of this tongue.
Yeah, that's pretty gross. I forgot about the tongue. When does he lick her, Jordan? Could you detail that scene more?
Well, she basically, like, he kind of invites himself in, and then she's having trouble because, like, the robot went haywire, and she, at this point doesn't realize, like, it's a real threat or anything. She's just like, oh, there's a robot that went haywire in my lounge, and, like, her whole security system's fucked up, and, she's just like, can you help me fix it? Because he talks about how he's like an IT guy. Yeah, he's basically like, yeah, like the bad stereotype of like a pervy IT guy, right? Like fat internet troll dude sitting behind his computer. He starts looking around. They're trying to find the robot, and then he's like just coming on to her and like harassing her and like just really gross ways, and just like, I guess he hints at some point how he knows so much about her, and like he's like, I know things about you that like you wouldn't even know about yourself and shit like that. And she's just like, oh, like, you're disgusting. Just fix my fucking thing, get out of my house. Why are you here? You're gross. But yeah, at some point he just gets real close to her and licks her on the face, and I'm just like, man, that is the worst thing. She should like kick that dude out of the window.
Yeah, that's pretty gross. I forgot about the licking because I just watched Trick or Treat again for Halloween, wrong holiday. And there's a guy there's a Dylan Baker character that licks women a lot, and he's really nasty, but he gets his comeuppance too. So I forgot. Yeah, you're right. He does do some licking. I've seen too much licking this week. That's enough licking.
I've been on a licking binge. Sorry, I got my movies mixed
A
up.
cinematic licking binge.
So gross. It's the worst.
Yeah.
But no, he basically, what, at the very end, he gets his comeuppance because, like, I guess I don't know if he fixes something and she's just like, all right, thank you. You're good to go now. And he's like, oh, but your shades are drawn. And he like goes to like open her shades. And he's like, no, we can't have that. So, you know, like if you close your shades, I couldn't be a peeping Tom anymore. Like, how obvious can you be? He goes to the window and then the robot is behind the shades somehow, or like, was it outside?
He was outside the window, I think.
Outside the window and like crashes through, or the window's open. I forget. I don't know.
He like jams these screw things into the guy's eyes because he pervs out with his eyeballs, you know, so he gets like a just comeuppance, I guess.
He gets a just cup. Yeah, because it's got like these needles that the robot can stick into people that are like filled with poison. And then it's got the drill penis thing. So it drills him in the heart or through the body. And yeah, it's just like super bloody and vicious.
Right. You could argue that of all the robot's victims, that was the one guy that had it coming. The robot is about to kill a lot of other people, though, that really don't. This is really a nihilistic robot, Jordan, and I didn't prepare one of my philosophical rants. I haven't given one of those since I've had the stroke. I just haven't had the temperament to do that. But I feel like I could have with this movie, Jordan, because this robot is very nihilistic, and the government initiative that made it is really nihilistic. And I feel like they're pushing nihilism on the people with the culture, Jordan. Every time Jill puts the TV on, there's some kind of nihilistic video on. Like there's like a gore video on, just like regular TV. But like not Gore's music playing. It was somebody else's.
Which was weird. It was Ministry playing, but Gore on the TV.
Right. There's like a government sterilization plan that she wants to do.
Yeah.
I've heard so many Gen Z people, like including my own child, like have this conversation where they're like, it's not moral to have kids right now, blah, 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 whatever. Right. And she's like saying all this stuff to him. And he's like, but I wanna. And then she's like, you know, I want to work on my sculpture. And then he's like, what does your sculpture mean? Blah, blah, blah. And, you know, she's like, it doesn't mean anything. And there's like a certain nihilism with all of that, right? Like, I want to create this object that means nothing instead of having a child with you.
It's all meaningless. Right.
There's definitely like an underlying strain in this movie that's like the government and culture of this film want the people to be nihilists. It's a very nihilist culture. And
I'm glad we could work in like a little bit of that nihilistic philosophy rant.
Right, yeah, and it's embodied fully by this robot, which is just like it has no other purpose than to kill. It lives to kill. It brings itself online so that it can kill everyone around it.
That's right.
It's an asshole, Jordan.
It's indiscriminate. It's just going to kill everybody no matter what.
Yeah. The Mark 13, which Mo gets back, and you have the fake Bible verse too, where even the Bible here has been altered and is no longer like the actual Bible. Cause he's like, oh, Mark 13, let me pull this Bible out. And he's like, Mark 13, no flesh shall be spared. Jordan, that's not what Mark 13 says at all. They just made that up for the movie. But now in my headcanon, I'm thinking the nihilistic government just changed all the verses out to be really violent. No flesh shall be spared. That's the name of our robot, too. Mark 13.
Yeah, they altered the Bible to fit their agenda, for sure. I think it was the actor's idea to bring in, like, that biblical illusion, right? I don't know if it was Stanley's idea to, like, make up that verse or what. And then the film opens with that title card for Mark 13 as well.
Right, yeah, the actual Mark 13:20 is talking about the end times and false prophets, but not no flesh shall be spared. That was made up for the movie. But again, I like my headcanon, Jordan. I like it. I'm going with that.
It works. The
government, it's probably like, instead of doing to others, it's probably just like, do what thou wilt. You know?
Right.
Fuck everybody else. Like, that's what their Bible says, Jordan. Mark 13:20 is no flesh shall be spared. Mark 13:21 is fuck everybody else. That's what their Bible says in this world.
Well, yeah. I would say, all that works, what you're saying with the headcanon and the government. I think all that works. I'd say my main complaint with the film, or just the disappointment, other than we have no Iggy Pop in the flesh, is the limited locale. Like, we're just stuck in this apartment for the whole rest of the movie. I was hoping to see some other locations, or go back out into the desert, or like this robot wreak more havoc out in the world in some way. But obviously, yeah, you have a budget constraint, and that's fine. I mean, I think what they do with it works, but it could have gone bigger and been more entertaining and fun in that way.
You know what, Jordan? I agree with you 100%. I agree 100%. That was my major disappointment with the film, too. And you even, after the desert scenes, get a moment that makes you think you're going to have kind of a globe-trotting film that's going to have like lots of visual variation, because you have a moment that's kind of a precursor to Waterworld, where to get to the city, they have to take a taxi. The cab driver is Lemmy. Just to get more musicians in here.
Yeah, I forgot about Lemmy.
Which, it cracks me up. No offense to Motorhead, but the song that they play is Ace of Spades, and I remember around the time, I don't know how old I was, but I was quite old. I was probably in like my late 20s or early 30s, and now I'm like almost in my mid 40s. But I remember people starting to talk about Motorhead, and I was like, I've never even heard of Motorhead. Like, what? I've never heard of this band. Like, this just never came across my culture line. But the only song I've ever heard is Ace of Spades. And then when he cranked the radio up, I was like, oh, cool, I'll hear another Motorhead song finally. But it was just Ace of Spades again, Jordan.
Nice.
But they take the taxi cab through the water. It's a taxi cab boat. And it's cool because it looks like Waterworld. The set dressing there looks like Waterworld from 5 years later. It makes you think that you're going to get more of that, and you don't. After that, you are in the apartment, and that's it.
Yeah, exactly. I was expecting some more of that, because I dug all that, and that was like, yeah, some cool world building, cool set dressing. And then, yeah, later we're just kind of confined to this apartment. Which, it gives a certain claustrophobic vibe that fits with the horror. But I feel like the setup kind of leads you astray in that way. Like, you'd almost be a little bit better off without having that, and just being like, okay, we're in this apartment and that's where we're going to be.
And that's it. Yeah, you're there for at least the final 2/3 of the movie. I'd say the final 3/4 of the movie, you're in the apartment.
It might make more sense too, because I feel like the POV of this it jumps around a bit, and it mostly focuses on Mo, right? Like, as our main character, and like from him globetrotting to going back home to Jill in the apartment. It might almost make more sense if like our main POV was from Jill, like in the apartment, starting with her and then like cutting back and forth. You know what I mean? Like, giving you the idea of like grounding you there, instead of like, oh, we're going to be like all over the place, and then nope, we're stuck here now.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a great point, because you do eventually get the POV switch, and you do see some more of the apartment. You see the security room at the apartment building and other stuff. But yeah, I mean, there's a tough argument to make there, because there's quite a big shock where they're fighting this robot. And Mo gets there, and he has his hero moment, and Jill gets thrown through a window. And the way they shot this is another complaint I have. They showed Jill, like, smash through the window on a table, but, like, her eyes are open, so she looks dead. They staged it to where she looked dead. I don't know. Did she look dead to you?
I thought she was dead. Yeah, for sure.
They should have shut her eyes for that. But you just get Mo versus the robot, and here you get more prescient stuff, where the robot kills him, and the way that it kills him is it injects him with basically a hallucinogen, where he kind of experiences this euphoria and like this nirvana experience, which just reminded me of now, Jordan, and cell phones and drugs and the constant weed cloud around the entire planet. And I was just like, damn, this robot again, this is like the culture, like killing you. And then he dies, and he's dead, and he was the main character, and he's gone. It's crazy.
Yeah, that was a shocking turn of events for sure. But yeah, he starts to earlier, I guess after their sexy sex scene, as you called it, he's having this dream, and he's dreaming that it's raining, and he thinks he's hearing the rain, I guess, from inside, hearing it outside. But she wakes him up, or he wakes up, and he realizes, oh, no, it was just a dream, and it was raining in the dream. He starts describing it. And then here he's like having that, I guess, hallucination again, bringing back the dream. And he also, I guess, remembers something that the junk buyer guy told him about, like there's a flaw in the robot's mechanism, the insulation, is weak to moisture, that kind of thing. So somehow after he dies, and then like she's running from the robot and like tapping into her security system again, he like starts talking through the robot, like what the robot has recorded, and she hears like his last thoughts or something. Like what did you make of all that? Do I have any of that right?
Yeah, I guess that's right.
It was all just very trippy. So like, you just go with it, whatever, if it makes sense or not.
It felt okay.
Yeah. It was fine, but it was just like, okay, I guess she's like hearing his thoughts through the robot now somehow, and then that clues her into like, oh, I know how to defeat this thing, and she leads it into the bathroom, and then she leads it into the shower, and well, actually she gets like thrown through the shower glass. Like I was like, how many times has she been like smashed through glass in this movie now? But she's basically thrown into the shower, shattered the glass all over the floor, and then the robot follows in there and is like trying to kill her, and then she turns on the water, and then the water defeats the robot.
Yeah, Shades is in there with her because you get the gnarly elevator scene where the two cool security guys that have like old bits of football gear on come in there and they're going to do something, but then the psycho robot hacks into the door that for whatever reason has gigantic sword blades built into it and makes it start going really fast, opening and shutting, and it chops them to bits, which I think is probably why the movie got the X rating, is there's just guts everywhere. But Shades evades the door. He gets in there with her. She has the bat. She's trying to kill the robot with the bat. And finally, they exploit the humidity issue with the robot, which I'm sure the government will work out at some point, but they haven't yet. So the shower kills the robot, and they're kind of victorious. It doesn't feel like being alive in that world is a huge victory. I don't know.
That's just the nihilism getting to you, Nick. You're like, it's all meaningless anyway, whatever.
They show, like, because you keep getting these news bulletins, right? They're like, all right, now the Mark 13 is going into full production. This robot is so great, and you love it so much, we're going to make 1 billion of these things. We don't want you to reproduce, but we do want to use our resources to make more of these robots that will kill you.
Right. No, there's definitely the sly commentary with that. I like how Shades earlier, I guess he was like tripping on something.
Yeah, he calls him for help, and he's like, bro, I can't, I'm so high right now. I thought we were off.
Right. I'm tripping right now, man. I really can't. But yeah, I like how later he kind of works himself up to go try and save Jill because, he's closer and Moe's like still on his way. So Moe's really like freaking out, hoping Shades can get there to save her from the robot. And when he gets to the door and the door like opening and shutting, he jumps through like in the most like awkward, funny way. And then he does like this little karate stance, like, yeah. It's just really, really goofy.
You reminded me of some people that I knew when I was in high school on that part.
Yeah, for sure.
Spectacular. And that's Hardware. Hardware. I wanted to call it Hardwired before we watched it, but Hardware.
It's Hardware, baby.
Yeah.
I have quite a few movie connections with our last film, Jacob's Ladder.
Fire away. What are yours?
So Jacob's Ladder and Hardware, they feel equally like I felt just as nasty watching Hardware as I did Jacob's Ladder. Just, well, mainly the pervy guy, but like the kind of gross, grungy apartment settings, you know, you feel kind of trapped in both of these apartments. They both have biblical allusions. So you've got Jacob's Ladder, and you've got Moses and the Mark 13 stuff here. Both Tim Robbins and Dylan McDermott's characters are military guys. You got shades tripping on the stuff like we were talking about. So you got hallucinogens, just like in Jacob's Ladder. And then you have the robot killed in the shower. And similarly, you have Jacob in the bathtub with the ice when he's dying. So there you go.
Very good.
My movie connections.
Yeah, there's also a connection of my favorite movie of all time, Alfred Hitchcock's Vertigo, because when the robot kills the perv guy, which is his first big kill and gore everywhere, there's a Vertigo shot of Jill's face.
Oh, nice. There's also, isn't there like a moment where they're hanging out the window, like on a ledge, or McDermott's like hanging from the roof and the robot pops up?
Yeah. So
there's some hanging off roofs there for your Vertigo-ness.
Yeah. Make everything Vertigo. Yep, that's it. So what would you give this movie? Not what would. What will you give this movie now?
I will now give this movie a 3.5 out of 5.
God, we gave everything the same score today, damn it.
Nice.
Yeah, I'd give it a 7 out of 10. It's definitely worth watching. It's got some really cool stuff. The same setting does get a little old. It does feel like the movie kind of grinds its gears a bit once you're there, but there's still a lot of cool stuff.
It feels like this apartment is huge and giant, and like the robot could be anywhere. But I'm like, really, how big is this place? Like, how hard is it to find this thing? You know what I mean? Like, where could it be?
Yep. Where is it? Is it in the kitchen or the living room?
Or the bedroom? Is there a bedroom?
Or is there just a bed in the living room?
Right. We don't really understand the geography of the apartment either, which, you know, that could have helped as well. But I also watched this on VHS at like 720p. So
yeah. You know, I want to jump up your butt for saying we, like using a collective term, but I'm with you. I could not tell the geography either. So literally we could not.
Yes. I am interested to watch this in high def if I can find, I don't know what it was on for you. What was it, like 1080 or?
I'm going to bleep out what you just said, but yeah, it looked great. It looked wonderful, Jordan, like they just restored it. I mean, it's Richard Stanley. I feel like he's got a large enough fan base to where his movies are they're going to stay looking fairly good.
Have you seen any of his other films? Like I know he did the not recent, but a few years back, the Nick Cage sci-fi Color Out of Space.
No, the only one of his movies I've seen, and he didn't even finish it, he got replaced, was the 96 Island of Dr. Moreau, which is a complete shit show. I can't wait to cover that.
Yeah. There's apparently a whole documentary about Richard Stanley being let go from that film, but like my buddy John was telling me how he snuck back in on set like as one of the creatures.
Yeah.
And he was like hanging out, and then he got caught doing that.
It's a really good... The documentary is probably better than the film, which I saw in the theater.
Nice. Yeah, I remember watching it on home video back in the day. But yeah, he did a movie called Dust Devil, and then it looked like he was out of like mainstream cinema for a long time, and then came back and did Color Out of Space with Nick Cage, which got really great reviews, and I've heard lots of good things about it, so I'm interested to watch that.
Yeah, it was a 2019 film. Yeah. And then that was the last thing he did. And he's been embroiled in court cases since then, it looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's it. I got nothing else to say about Hardware, Jordan.
That's all I got, sir. That's your Hardware right here, Filmshake fans. Hope you enjoyed. Well, next up, what should we do? Like a trivia battle or something?
Pop quiz, asshole.
Jordan, it's our 101st episode. You actually wrote questions for our 100th episode, right? Didn't you?
I did.
Which I was very proud of you. But, you know, we're away from that milestone now. We're to episode 101.
That's right.
Did you not write trivia questions this time?
What do you think?
I'm going to guess no.
No, I mean, I did it last time. Come on.
Oh, you bum. Well, guess what? You made reference to Star Wars earlier, Jordan. I thought about Star Wars too, and I thought, why don't I just make my questions about Star Wars?
Of course.
And Star Wars is, of course, a 1977 film written and directed by George Lucas. We don't say A New Hope in this house. It's just Star Wars. That's what it's always been.
Okay.
All right. Are you ready for this?
Hey, you want to know my one of my favorite jokes that a friend told me?
What's that?
Real quick. The joke is just, hey, have you ever heard of that movie Star Wars?
And that's it. That's all
the
all
joke.
you do. That's the joke.
That's all you do. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all you need.
Yeah, I had that joke going on Twitter for a little while because I just get tired of those reply accounts that are like, be honest, have you heard of this movie? And it's fucking Star Wars. Yeah, so I don't reply. But people are so OCD or so, I can't use the words that I want to say, but they're like, I must say that I have. I can't pass by and not say. So it has like 4,000 replies and they're all genuine. You're like, what? Why'd you reply to this idiot?
Of course you've heard of that movie. Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that's why that joke is a joke.
Yeah.
Because everybody should have heard of Star Wars.
That's correct. That's correct. Well, Jordan, can you get 3 out of 4 of these questions right about Star Wars?
Maybe.
All right.
Depends on how deep you go in your nerdum.
Well,
nerdiness?
We'll see.
Nerdastic?
We'll see if I go as deep as the robots did in Robot Jox with their fist, Jordan.
Or with their chainsaw penises.
Ah, golly. I made all those stupid fisting jokes and I completely forgot about the chainsaw penis, which was far more right.
What are we doing? We're falling down on our stupidity.
Yeah. So stupid, we're stupid. All right, here we go. Number 1. Who is the cinematographer for Star Wars? Was it Janusz Kaminski, Gilbert Taylor, Douglas Slocum, or Marcia Lucas?
Dude, I don't know. Douglas Slocum?
Incorrect. It was Gilbert Taylor.
Okay.
Douglas Slocum did do the Indiana Jones movies. Or at least the ones that I consider to be Indiana Jones movies. All right.
That name sounded Lucas-y, so.
Yeah. Gilbert Taylor did Star Wars. All right, Jordan. That's okay. You just need to get these next 3 right, and I know you can do it.
All right.
Star Wars.
Who's Luke's father?
Star Wars, close. That's almost what this question is. Star Wars was nominated for Best Picture at the 50th Academy Awards, but it lost to A. Annie Hall, B. The Goodbye Girl, C. The Deer Hunter, or D. Coming Home.
Was it Annie Hall?
That is correct, Jordan.
All right.
That is correct. Everybody knows that. Bunch of idiots. Stupid. Stupid
ass motherfucker. Yeah.
All right. Number 3, Jordan. I know you know this. Carrie Fisher starred as Princess Leia. Who is Carrie Fisher's famous mother? Was it A. Connie Fisher, B. Frances Fisher, C. Debbie Reynolds, or D. Elizabeth Taylor?
It was Debbie Reynolds, right?
Correctamundo, Jordan.
Nice.
That leaves only one more question for you to get right. Jordan, I believe in you. I think you can get this one right. Remember, this is a Star Wars question. Which is the best Mace Me film? Is it A? And these go in chronological order of 1 through 4 as to which Mace Me movies these are. Is it A, Mace Me, B, Mace Me Again, C, Mace Me a third time, or D, Mace Me into the Mace Me verse?
So I just pick any of these Mace Me movies?
There's a right answer to this. Remember, these are Star Wars questions. What is the best Mace Me film?
Oh, okay. So Mace Me is like a stand-in for Star Wars. And I know your favorite is Star Wars Empire Strikes Back. Therefore, Mace Me Again would
Correct!
Be the best?
You did it! 3 out of 4.
I solved the puzzle.
I'm so proud of you right now.
Thank you.
I don't care if you forgot to write your questions.
I didn't forget. I was just like, it's Nick's pick. He's going to punish me with something. He's going to write questions. We're good.
Is it better if you were lazy or you forgot? Like, which one of those is the better of the two?
I like the lazy better than the forgetting. The forgetting? The forgetting. I forgot how to speak.
That sounds like your Italian sports car. You know, I drive a Fregati.
I drive a Fregati.
But Jordan, what would Lincoln Weinberg Jr., would he forget or just neglect to do it?
He would do neither. He would do it, meaning he would perv out and watch you with a telescope.
There you
go.
On
a regular schedule.
That is correct. That is correct.
Thank you. Answered all those questions correct.
You did great. You did fantastic. Yes, ding noise. I agree.
Ding noise.
Okay, so Jordan, we've been covering 1990 films all year. I'm kind of bummed. I had a stroke really early in the year. I didn't get to get as deep into the films as I would have liked on a normal year. For instance, we covered Gremlins 2. I didn't get to play the Gremlins 2 NES game. Normally I would have. I just did not get to. I was too busy getting my throat shocked back open because I couldn't swallow. So I'm kind of disappointed a little bit in the year in my participation in the podcast because I feel like I could have gone harder, Jordan. I feel like I could have gone much harder. In fact,
maybe you went too hard in the 1999 year last year. You just went so hard and gave yourself a stroke. And you had to just chill out this year.
Well, Jordan,
just slow down.
That was meant to be a seg in what my main pick is for the next episode.
Oh, I ruined it.
Well, can you guess what the movie is now?
You wanted to go harder.
Yeah, but there's one thing this year that I didn't want to do harder that I almost did. I came really close to doing it. And that's Die Harder, Jordan.
Oh, okay. There we go.
So my main pick is Die Hard 2, Die Harder. This is my last pick of the year. Jordan gets the final pick. I get second to last pick. This will be coming out right before Thanksgiving. Die Hard 2, you could call it a Christmas film because it takes place on Christmas Eve. We've never covered a Die Hard film. John McClane is my favorite cinematic character of all time. I love John McClane so much. My username on AOL back in the 90s was John McClane. I love this character so much. Die Hard 2 is kind of the black sheep of the original trilogy, but you know what? It's the first one I saw. I saw this on cable at some point in the early 90s, and it was the first one I ever watched. And then I saw the third one right when it hit VHS, and then I saw the first one last out of the original trilogy, which is the best one.
Yeah. No, and I feel like this is fitting for your year, right? You're like, die harder. Like, I'm not gonna die. It's gonna take a whole lot to kill me, motherfucker.
Right, yeah. So Die Hard 2, Die Harder. That's my main pick. I'm really pumped. I always like this one. You know, I concede it's not as good maybe as 1 or 3, but it's a very enjoyable film. I'm hoping that it still holds up for me. It's got good old Rennie Harlan behind the camera, so.
Yeah, I think it'll be fun.
Right.
So what's your punishment film then?
Jordan, I thought I gotta go with another violent sequel, because Die Hard 2, when it came out, there was some criticism toward the violence in the movie, because it's a pretty violent film with a high body count. Body count, as we would say, you know, back in our day, not like the kids now when they're talking about how many people they've had sex with, or rather not had sex with, since they're not really doing it anymore. But Jordan.
Body count 0.
Body count 0. Yeah. Blood Fist 2, Jordan. My punishment film is Blood Fist 2.
Nice. Blood Fist 2.
This is streaming on Tubi. Just so all our listeners know, Die Hard 2 you can find just about anywhere. It was a pretty big hit at the time of its release. It made $240 million. Blood Fist 2 didn't make $240 million. It barely made over $1 million, but you can stream it for free.
I've never seen Blood Fist 1.
Forget about that. That doesn't matter. You just need to watch Blood Fist 2. Produced by Roger Corman. Hooray.
Oh, nice. Well, the big question is, how much money is this going to cost me on VHS?
Hopefully not a lot.
It's hopefully not too bad.
I hear you typing away now.
Here we go. Here's like a $9 one.
That's there we go.
All right, sweet.
Man, I had the original Die Hard trilogy on VHS before I threw my VHS tapes away before I got married back in 06. Wish I could take that decision back. That whole garbage bag, I wish I could have just, I don't know, put in a safe corner somewhere and just pulled it back out and set all the tapes back up. So I thought that movie looked, it looks pretty good on VHS, but it was pan and scan, and there's some pretty egregious pan and scan moments that just look way better on the widescreen.
Yeah. Are you talking about Blood Fist 2 or Die Hard?
I'm sorry, I didn't clarify that. Die Hard 2.
Okay.
I did not have the VHS for Blood Fist 2. I've never actually watched it. This will be my first.
Oh, you've
viewing.
never seen Blood Fist 2?
No, I'm going to watch Blood Fist 2. I've
cool.
wanted to watch this. So.
Well, you have to because it's the punishment, and you lost. I won.
Oh, God.
Well, technically you didn't lose because I didn't ask you any question. But you lost in stumping me. Well, we'll say that.
I was so proud of you.
All right. Sweet. Well, I'm looking forward to this, sir. I was not expecting these films. I was thinking maybe you'd go with RoboCop 2 when you started talking about the violent sequel.
Right, yeah, and we did just talk about a killer robot, but I don't want to overdo the killer robots, Jordan.
Yeah, that is true. I guess maybe RoboCop 2 would have been the more popular choice for the killer robot, but I had to go and pick Hardware.
Right. Well, I know a few listeners have requested it. That would have made a lot of sense, but Jordan said, no, I want to talk about Hardware.
I was just like, I have these VHS tapes sitting here. I need a good excuse to watch both of these. And I will say, Anthony, one of our beloved not patrons, but one of our beloved listeners, has talked to me about Robot Jox, even asked me to look out for a copy of Robot Jox for him. So when I saw that, when I found it, I was like, look, we got to watch this. We got to talk about this for Anthony. So hope you enjoyed it, at least, Anthony.
I hope so,
if
too.
No one else knew what the fuck we were talking about.
I hope so, too. And I'm glad we talked Hardware, because I would have never watched this otherwise. And I did enjoy it. Even though it has issues, I enjoyed the film a lot.
Yeah, I'm glad we covered it, for sure.
I can see myself revisiting it, actually.
Sweet. Well, yeah, I think I will try and watch, or at least check out some of the footage in a higher quality to really appreciate it more. But yeah, next up we will do Die Hard 2, Die Harder, and Blood Fist 2. I'm pumped. Let's go.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for listening, everybody. We appreciate it. You can find us on the interwebs. Just search 90s Movies Podcast. You can email us at filmshakepodcast@gmail.com. Reach out to us. Let us know what you think and what movies you've been watching from the 90s. And we'll catch you next time for more Film Shake.
Take it easy.
Don't! You don't want to keep these closed. You won't be able to see Santa Claus coming.